Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Okay. It's been pointed out to me with my Paramore coverage that I need to hit the song Let the Flames Begin Part 2. I did Part 1 already, and even my friend Mikola was like, I really wanted you to hear Part 2. And then, of course, everybody on the planet who's commented on it has been like, you have to do the live version. And I'm like, okay, well, let me do the studio version first, and then we'll get to the live version later. I tend not to do live performances, mostly just due to, copyright issues that usually creep up with stuff like that. But we'll see what happens with that later. In the meantime, I'm going to do the song by Paramore, Let the Flames Begin, Part 2, so that I can find out what everybody's telling me I need to know. So here we go with the song, Paramore's Let the Flames Begin, Part 2.
and find me dancing all alone to the sound of an enemy song. I'll be lost until you find me fighting on my own in a war that's already been won. I'll be lost until you come and find me. You What a mess, what a mystery we've made. Loving all the simple things, learning to forgive, even when it wasn't our mistake. I question every human. One look in my eyes, scars left on my heart, formed patterns in my mind. Oh, glory. You will find me dancing all alone to the sound of an enemy song. I'll be lost until you find me fighting on my own in a war that's already been won. I'll be lost until you come and find me. Your glory. Like the moon, burn alive. I am nothing but a shadow in the night. So if you let me, I will catch fire to let your glory and mercy shine.
So, as with the first and the last four Paramore songs that I have done here, same comment on her voice. Stellar voice. Stellar voice. This song, compositionally, is the most interesting of all the ones that I've done so far. Again, these are all based off of friend suggestions and viewer suggestions. So there's a lot of textures going on here, and it makes for an interesting, very interesting composition. Lyrically, she's an impressive writer too. I mean, you know, the subject matter, the lyrical creativity is impressive. It's very impressive. Her voice is really the stellar standout for me regarding everything. It's not that the music isn't impressive, because it is. there are parts of it that I feel like I have heard before, just in other songs by other artists. It's not a slight, or it's not a shot. It's again, it's a wonderful composition. So um when you've been surrounded by um the music that I've been surrounded by well, at least the last 30 years, um you start to hear things that you've, you know, heard before, and it literally could have been, two guys in a music store jamming out something and be like, oh, that's interesting. And then all of a sudden, like 5 years later, you're like, oh, wait a second, that sounds like something I've heard before. It could be another artist that I'm thinking of. It could just be something in passing you hear on the radio overhead, whether it be in a bar or a store or whatever. So and again, when you think about as music as or as much music as often as I do, um, it's just there's a lot out there, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, I don't honestly know in this day and age if there is really anything that could be considered 100% original, just simply because we are all an amalgamation of our influences that came before us. Um, and, I mean, basically, again, there's 12 notes in the Western scale. And those 12 notes have been arranged and put together in virtually every conceivable fashion. Um, Whether or not there was any success behind it previously, that's a whole other story. But realistically, at a certain point, there's only so many combinations, and so there is no doubt that out there in the music landscape, there is familiarity with things. And even though you're hearing something for the first time, as I am with this particular song, it does not mean that you can't listen to it and go, "Oh, that sounds a little similar to something." It doesn't mean that they're stealing it, doesn't mean that they're doing anything illicit. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that, oh, wait a second, I've heard something of a similar tinge before. Again, not a slight, not a negative. Um, again, her voice is fantastic. It really is, and it's a wonderful song. And I will at some point do the live version. I am sure, because I'm sure once I post this video, people are going to be like, "Oh, you need to hear the live version." I'm like, it's coming. Um. Anyway, with that said, very good, very, very, very good. That's it for now. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. We can talk about it further. And you can tell me what other Paramore songs I need to listen to. Again, please bear in mind, if you make a suggestion, I do not want to hear suggestions of their top radio hits. No. That stuff is too accessible. I want to hear the stuff that fans love but doesn't get airplay, the deeper tracks, the stuff that makes me know that you, as a fan, are listening to the entire album. You're not just listening to the thing that's pumped up on the radio. Okay? That's what I want to dive into. That's the stuff that intrigues me. So if you have a suggestion, feel free to lay it out there, and I will take. I've got 2 or 3 others that have been suggested to me that I will be getting to, I'm sure. So again, feel free to leave other suggestions, and we'll listen to them together. Okay. With that said, thanks for watching. Please know that I appreciate you, and I wish you all well. Take care.